Hello there, and today we'll be reacting to Fleekazoid's The Saudis just gave EA a 55 billion golden shower, which they seriously did.
Damn, Saudi Arabia just bought EA for $55 billion.
God damn.
They just bought your whole childhood with the money they found in their couch cushions. The Crown
Yeah,
played
incredible amount of money.
Said, "Get it? Handsome Squidward just tried to diddle me, papa. Make sure that shit never happens again." And honestly,
yeah.
great. Praise Allah. There's
I'm curious what changes they're gonna make.
The Saudis. They're buying everything right now. WWE.
Yeah, they get dead. Yeah, so let's just briefly talk about. So they get things like Dead Space. They get all the stuff from BioWare. So that'd be things like Mass Effect. They get Dungeon Keeper, which is like an old game. They did like a mobile game and it's absolutely terrible. They get Ultima. They get Wing Commander. Oh, and they also get Command and Conquer. Man, are we gonna see a new Command and Conquer? That'd be awesome. If they do, we need like the FMVs back, you know, like the real life actors. Tim Curry can still do voice acting. I know he's still well enough to do that.
100 AMC movie theaters. You know what they call a small cheap boat in Saudi Arabia?
Just buy everything.
These Saudis are so rich that the only showers they take are golden. These golden showers,
and EA just absolutely loves it. Like rubbing their face and everything.
Not to trust the
do they also have Crisis?
For why you should. First,
we get Crisis 4. What's funny is people say, oh, can your PC run Crisis? The answer is still no, because it only runs on like a single thread on processors. So that's why the joke still works.
I am bullish on the Saudis bringing back big old yams. For the past 10 years, all of
yeah, they'll bring back big yams, but you won't be able to see them and they'll never take the clothes off.
Saudi Arabia won't stand for this. These guys DoorDash Instagram models the way you DoorDash Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Hell, look at their airlines. Their flight attendants look like Skyrim mods. And the next Mass Effect, get ready for modestly dressed, big booty Latinas.
Yeah. That's it. There'll be like huge badonkers, but everything will just be like super covered up and everything. Like I don't think you're gonna get any like the nude sex scenes you got in like Dragon Age and Mass Effect. Not that frankly I think you're missing anything. I don't think those added really much to the plot. They were just there to like, it's the original Guna bait, you know, like they were pushing like what can we get away with, and it kind of wasn't worth it. It's more like just the implied stuff is good enough.
And just when you think things can't get better,
we'll say Miranda from Mass Effect 2. Ooh, goddamn. And then they ruined it when they did the remaster. They like censored her ass and all that sort of stuff. I was like, what the fuck am I paying for? Just pay the originals with a HD texture pack. Thankfully, modders, I think it's like on Nexus Mods, unless Nexus Mods took it down. Modders reintroduced the Miranda ass. That is a mod worth getting.
Rise again, but don't expect a clean revival. This isn't Jesus now. This is Gump. Now that you got that shrimp money, she's done snorting Elvis and blowing coke. Oh, she's back, but she's called.
Now she's ran through. She's back to you.
What I'm saying is that the Saudis are going to want to make a few content changes to the game.
They're going to make a few content changes. They're going to add like way more microtransactions. FIFA and the NFL games are going to be like way more intensely microtransaction based probably. Because they know that. I was looking at this just before I did the video. How much of EA's revenue do you think comes from microtransactions? It's 74%. So it's their live service drives 74% of like their profits. So things like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, stuff like that, it probably costs more money than they actually end up like making. So it's no wonder EA is off to the side going, oh, these loot boxes and all this like faux gambling stuff is where the money is. And that's why they're so attractive to the Saudis. That's why they've got a 55 billion payout, you know? 55 billion. Crazy money.
You can have Dead Space, but all the babies are gonna have to be Ronaldo now. The Saudis love Ronaldo.
Yeah, because they own like Ronaldo.
The Saudis have listened to your feedback, and we now get the privilege of having even more microtransactions in our games. Now when you divorce your wife in Sims, EA gets half your real-life bank account.
Oh, they have Sims as well. I mean, Sims is already pretty bad with the microtransactions. Like, you buy the game, and then there's like $600 of like optional extra stuff. So like, goddamn, what are they gonna do now?
Half your retirement and alimony for the next 12 years. People think Saudis care about games having gambling like loot boxes, and
yeah, they're just gonna double down.
Transactions are gonna get nerfed, but this isn't gambling. This is economic diversification. Read a
It's
book.
surprise mechanics, like that hideous lawyer. I think they're actually brought to the British like courts, and he had that hideous lawyer from EA be like, that surprise mechanics, and credit to like one of our people. He just looked at her dead in the face and just wanted to call her like the most frustrating thing he'd ever seen, because like we all know child gambling is a major problem, and this like devil's lawyer was just completely dismissing it as surprise mechanics. Just disgraceful human behavior.
Choice. As a part of the deal, Jer Bear and the Funky Bunch dropped $20 billion on EA's head, and now they're actually the ones responsible for paying that debt off. If they
yeah, so is EA technically owned by the American public?
Studios get shut down, Titanfall gets reposed.
Titanfall, you could get a new Titanfall. I mean, okay, controversial statement. Titanfall for me is massively overrated. I did the Titanfall 2 single player, and I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's not 10 out of 10. It's like maybe like 6, like 7. And I don't think the core gameplay of Titanfall was all that fun anyway. And don't forget, the original Titanfall was the one where it gave you an aimbot pistol. So like, I don't think we're missing out by not having more Titanfall. If they was to do it, they'd just redo the entire franchise. I don't think we'd get Titanfall 3.
To China, and now you gotta watch cough syrup ads every time you go to reload. If you work for entirely Arabian right now, the only thing standing between
entirely Arabian, EA.
you and unemployment is a 12-year-old buying FIFA packs. Let me put this in less confusing terms. That's kind of like if I bought your house with $1 million that I got from a loan shark. Don't worry, you can still live there, but you're gonna pay my VIG. And if you miss one of my payments, I'm selling your shit as collateral. Starting with your wife, then your fridge, then your fucking dog. This next one's a legitimately positive one. Number 4, many people think Saudi Arabia will remove the fabulous.
Yeah, so this is like the big reaction that people have had, like, oh, they're gonna come in and then they're gonna get rid of, well, it's gonna be like all the woke stuff and stuff like that. Honestly, I'm kind of curious as to what their plan is, because I know that in like, say, certain countries, like in Japan, for example, they ban decapitation. In China, they ban blood. In the West, we ban tits. Yeah. So I'm curious as to see like what the Saudis are gonna like impart on what is essentially one of the biggest Western publishers, Western game publishers. Like what are they gonna try and input stuff from, like, you know, Sharia law in? What is gonna be their censorship? Can you not have female leads? Can you not have females driving, which they can't do in places like Saudi Arabia, and I think even like Dubai and stuff? Like, it's a bit iffy and stuff. Like, are they gonna try and impart that? I have a feeling that they're just not going to change all that much. I think they will get rid of all like the woke stuff, and they'll put like a hard ban on that, because they literally ban that in their own countries. But I think everything else, I think they'll just relatively keep the same, because the Saudi prince son, whoever is, he has a Steam profile and he plays like the hentai games. So like, I don't think they're going to pull back on like any of the, I think they are going to give like players back to like the 2000s era of gaming. I don't think they're gonna introduce any introduce any censorship. I think they're gonna roll back a whole bunch.
From EA's games, I'm not sure about that. However, there are early reports that if you play as a woman in the next Need for Speed game, you won't be allowed to drive. That's not a bug.
Yeah, exactly, because they ban women from driving. So like, are they gonna introduce that as like a concept in the games? I highly doubt it, because they know that they're serving a Western audience. Because the Saudis, unlike a lot of Western like stakeholders and stuff like that, the Saudis just want to make money. They're not interested in this cultural conversion that like the West is.
It's a cultural immersion. Don't like it? Well, does your dad have $55 billion in oil money to buy it back? No? Then take it from the Crown Prince. That's how we do customer support now. Personally,
yeah.
I say do PlayStation next. 5 years from now, Ghost of Yotai 2, you're gonna go to do a takedown, but you're gonna need a man's permission first. Number 5, expect a lot more desert map.
Apparently, Ghost of Yotai is not sold well at all. People are like saying, oh, it sold 1 million copies, but Sucker Punch hasn't actually said that themselves. When a game sells 1 million copies, that is the first thing the developer is like screaming from the rooftops. And I really think that Ghost of Yotai is just not hit. Again, I don't have a PlayStation 5, so I'm not gonna buy it. It's not on Steam, so I can't even play it. And honestly, I was never that interested in it. Ghost of Tsushima was 10 out of 10. Ghost of Tsushima was amazing. I just wanted Jin Sakai, Ghost of Tsushima 2. I didn't want this like completely random offshoot. I wanted to go back to like the Sengoku period. Like, put me a samurai game in that period, but make me like this, like, you know, not corrupted samurai, but this fallen samurai turned to like the ninja ways. Give me that game where I meet like Oda Nobunaga and stuff like that. Like, you know, Ghost of Yotai is just not interesting in its premise in my eyes. And then you had the really annoying like voice actor for the English one. Yeah, they made some severe mistakes for that. And critically, a lot of the devs who made Ghost of Tsushima left. That's always a bad sign.
This isn't just me being an ass. Saudi Arabia literally just paid Ubisoft to make a Mirage DLC in their backyard. Number 6. The suits never listen to the fans. We want Crysis, they give us another Madden. We want Need for Speed, they give us F1. Where the fuck's the rest of the car? But now, under the Saudis, if you want something made,
yay, Command & Conquer.
The Crown Prince on Steam and ask really nicely. Better
and gift him like a couple games. You're like, hey bro, I think you'll like this.
Yeah, gift him a game on Steam. A few days later, if the Crown Prince likes it, bada bing, bada boom.
You're now the head of the development studio.
Sequel featuring Cristiano Ronaldo. Because that's another thing. Number 7, there's going to be a real small change to EA games moving forward. Ronaldo will be in
everything.
Now. The Saudis are bullish on Ronaldo. They just paid him $700 million to stay in their lives for a couple more years. Hell, they just bought a whole fighting game franchise.
Oh, the boy SNK as well, God.
Ronaldo and big titties are a package deal. You can't have one without the other, pimp. The Saudis love
Have they produced anything though? Because all they produce is oil, and then they just buy other stuff. They never like produce anything on their own, as far as I know. Oh, Veil got Avowed. Oh, Conquer. Oh, all of them terrible, terrible games. And all of them conceived with just this poor idea of what the market wants, and then obviously they launch so incredibly arrogant in what they assume to be their success, and then every single one of them bombs.
About the failed success of the year, Ubisoft. Ubisoft succeeded so hard that all their biggest IPs are now operated by China. I have no.
The Ubisoft thing was so funny because they also did this thing of like, oh, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been so successful. Oh, by the way, we've sold our entire company. And then they sold it to China, and then China was like, oh, Assassin's Creed, you're not working on that anymore. We don't want you guys touching that. That's ours now. So they completely just got rid of everyone who's just working on the Assassin's Creed. Honestly, probably a good thing because they didn't know what they were doing. I don't think the Assassin's Creed games were all that good. I think they're mostly boring, and they've not been original since like Assassin's Creed 2, which was peak.
What success means anymore, but I know that you can't spell it without Saudi Arabia. I love Saudi Arabia. Come check out the famous beaches of Saudi Arabia. Come grab a beer and do some gambling with me in the jiggle joints of Saudi Arabia. Thank you to Saudi Arabia for using code bail money. Anything to add, old Billy Red Nuts? Yeah.
I don't think they've bought EA or any of these properties to lawn the idea of Saudi Arabia or anything like that. I think they've bought it.
It's not technically slavery.
EA Sports, it's in the game. And then somewhere around like the 2010s, they took that away because it was no longer in the game. But yeah, I don't think the Saudis have bought this to like buff up the Saudi Arabian like image. They bought it just because they can. It's literally like penny change to them, and they bought it because the kid likes gaming. Like, look at his Steam profile, and he's all like, "Ooh, I bought Steam, thank you, Papa." You know, just insanity. So like, I'm curious to see if they introduce any censorship. I know they're gonna get rid of like the woke stuff. Like, that is the first thing that they're gonna do. They're gonna throw that literally off a building. Like, the first second, they're probably having phone calls right now saying, get rid of this person, this person, this person, this person, rewrite all of these stories, and EA is gonna bend over and they're gonna take it and they're gonna love it, because EA only cares about money. EA has never cared about any messaging. It's never cared about making people feel good. EA has only been about the money since quite literally probably like 2007. That is really like where the big switch happened. It's probably before that, but that's when you really started to see them buying studios and killing studios like really aggressively. So I used to be a big BioWare fan until Mass Effect 3, where they ruined it for me. And I'm very curious to see what's going to happen to that now, because I know they're working on a Mass Effect behind the scenes. But let's be real, a lot of the stuff that's going to be in that game isn't going to sit well with the Saudis. So like, is that going under like a big rewrite? Because they bought it. They can literally command like, hey, get rid of this. Get rid of this person. We're closing this studio. We're bringing these people in. It could go either way. They could bring in like a whole bunch of like really cool people again. Maybe they could control the budgets better. Though being Saudis, I don't think budget really matters. So I'm really curious to see what happens in the end. But we won't find out for quite some time, I don't think. It's gonna, stuff like this, people think, oh, it's a day and night switch. It does take time for like people to get into command and stuff like that. I wonder if they're gonna keep the CEO, because he's been a major problem at EA in terms, well, he's good for making money for EA, but he's bad for gamers. So we'll see. I wonder what the Saudi's going to do with that. Anyway, link in the description, guys. Don't forget that I live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And I also have a Ko-Fi with an ASMR voice pack. Thank you for watching. I shall catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.